moving through me. Let my body feel the waves of love and grief. Moving through me. Let my body feel the waves of love and grief.
Second, what sign is on the cross? Second. 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 Second, what sign is on the cross?
This is way too big for you to carry this all on your own.
7, 6, 5, 4,
Do not carry this all alone.
wait, wait,
You do not
wait,
carry this all alone. No, you do not carry this all alone. This is way too big for you to carry this all on your own. So you do not carry this all alone. You do not carry this all alone. No, you do not carry this all alone. This is way too big for you to carry this all on your own. So you do not carry this all alone. You do not carry this all This is way too big for you to carry this all alone. So you do not carry this all
what sign is on the cross?
cannot erase them. The people will rise and the empire will fall. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. The people will rise and the empire will fall. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. The people will rise and the empire will fall. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. No. You cannot erase them. The people will rise and the empire will fall. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. The people will rise and the empire will fall. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. This is way too big for you to carry this all on your own. So you do not carry this all alone. You do not carry this all alone. Softly for the family and friends of the people we've lost. You do not carry this all alone. You do not carry this all alone. This is way
Sorry.
Thank you.
solo el pueblo salva al pueblo. If one of us falls, we all solo el pueblo salva al pueblo. If one of us falls, we all solo el pueblo salva al pueblo.
All cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. The people will rise and the empire will fall. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. The people will rise and the empire will fall. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. The people will rise and the empire will fall. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. The people will erase them. You cannot erase them. You cannot erase them. You solo el pueblo, salva el pueblo. If one of us falls, we all rise up, solo el pueblo, salva el pueblo. If one of us falls, we all rise up, solo el pueblo, salva el pueblo. If one of us falls, we all rise up.
Only the people can save the people. Only the people can save the people. Can save.
Solo el pueblo, salva el pueblo. If one of us falls, we all rise up, solo el pueblo, salva el pueblo. If one of us falls, we all rise up, solo el pueblo, salva el pueblo. If one of us falls, we all rise up, solo el pueblo, salva el pueblo. If one of us falls, we all rise up,
from right under City Hall, one out under the Department of Justice. A couple of volunteers can go to the sound truck to retrieve our funeral pamphlets. We have programs for this voting honoring the departed. Take just a moment for those to proliferate. And I invite everyone to step forward. We're occupying this space, the street, and come in just a bit closer, back here as an assembly. I'll now invite our first clergy.
Good morning. Let's try this again. Good morning. My name is Reverend Dr. Gia Starr Brown, and I am honored and humbled to stand with you today. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge as well that we gather today on the ancestral homelands of the Dakota people, with deep connections also to the Anishinaabe and many other indigenous nations who have cared for these lands since time immemorial. As we remember the lives of those who have died in immigration detention, may we also remember that the story of this nation began with the displacement of indigenous peoples. May our remembrance today deepen our commitment to truth, repair, and a future where liberty, dignity, and justice belong to every single person. You see, we have not gathered for a celebration, we have gathered for a funeral. Today we speak aloud what systems often try to bury beneath numbers and headlines. 52 beloved people died while detained in the custody of our government. 52 lives. 52 sacred stories, 52 people whose names were known and cherished long before they were entered into a government database. In every faith tradition I know, funerals serve a holy purpose. They remind us that every life bears dignity. Funerals refuse to let death become ordinary. They insist that grief is not weakness, but love with nowhere left to go. And that is why we are here. We are here because forgetting is one of the oldest companions of injustice. And remembrance is one of the oldest practices of liberation. Today, as we know, also happens to be the 4th of July. 250 years ago, this nation declared that all people are created equal and endowed with certain unalienable rights, among them life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And those words have inspired generations, and they have also challenged and burdened generations as well. Because while liberty was declared, it has never actually been delivered. The story of this nation is both undone and unfinished, incomplete. It may be a story of courage for some, but it is also a story of contradiction for many. A story of extraordinary aspiration alongside colonialism that dispossessed indigenous peoples of their lands. A story of declarations of freedom alongside the enslavement of African peoples. A story that welcomed many while excluding others. This is a story that too often has decided whose humanity would be protected and whose would be postponed. The question before us today is not whether our history is complicated. It is whether we are willing to tell the truth about it. As a Christian pastor, I believe my faith invites me into exactly this kind of remembering. You see, in my tradition, the Bible never sanitizes its own history. It remembers betrayal, it remembers exile, it remembers violence, and it remembers the importance of repentance. Not because God delights in shame, but because healing cannot begin where truth is denied. Across our many faith traditions, and for those whose moral convictions are not rooted in religion at all, we share a common understanding that every human life possesses inherent dignity. We know that compassion compassion is stronger than fear. We know that remembering is more faithful than forgetting. We know that our humanity is not measured by how we treat those who are most like us, but by how we care for those who are most vulnerable. And that is why today's call rings so clearly. Give us liberty. We are done with death. Done with deaths that become press releases. Done with deaths that become political talking points. Done with deaths that disappear because the people who died were considered strangers. Because every great moral and spiritual tradition worthy of its name reminds us that strangers are never merely strangers. Yes. They are neighbors. They are family. They are friends. They are beloved. The measure of a nation is not how beautifully it speaks about freedom. The measure of a nation is how faithfully it protects the most vulnerable among us. So as we mark the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence today, perhaps the most patriotic thing that we can do is not simply celebrate our founding ideals. Perhaps it is to recommit ourselves to finally living them. To build a country where liberty is not selective, where dignity is not conditional, where no one seeks safety, where justice is more than a promise engraved on paper. Today we commend these 52 beloved souls to the care of the holy. May their memories disturb our comfort. May their lives deepen our compassion. May their deaths awaken our courage. May we become the kind of people and the kind of nation that practices truth, embraces repair, and expands liberty until it truly belongs to us all. The Declaration gave us words. History has given us responsibility. This moment demands courage, and these 52 beloved lives deserve absolutely nothing less. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. And I invite our next clergy speaker.
Hello, beloveds. My name is T. Michael Rock. I'm a pastor at Lindale United Church of Christ and part of March, Multi-Faith, Anti-Racism, Change, and Healing. Amen. I was asked to talk about why we hold a funeral. And really the first and most important reason we hold a funeral is to acknowledge death, something that our government has not done. We come together to pay attention to the deaths that have occurred at the hands of the Department of Homeland Security and all of its agencies. And no one should be comfortable with an agency meant to protect and provide relief to have blood on their hands. And it is so much blood. So many lives. It is why we continue to say their names. I invite you now, if you are holding a sign with a name on it, to hold it up high in the crowd to say their names out loud. Remember them. Imprint them in your bodies. Say their names. Go ahead. Say their names. Each of these names, friends, is a story. Holding a funeral also opens up to a grieving process that people need to understand their own traditions around death and to gather community to hold and share in their grief. Funerals, by their very nature, are communal. Funerals are rituals, and funerals also honor a life and honor lives in this instance. This is a public acknowledgement that the lives taken by ICE or in ICE custody were people that carried a spark. These names you just said were people who were loved and who knew how to love. These humans were trying their best to move about in the world. In this case, all of these lives were cut short. There are stories and families that are wounded by acts of our federal government. And this is not new. It's been going on forever. This promise of independence and liberty and freedom has only been reserved for some in our history. Today we claim it for all. We mourn together today at the injustice and evil of separating people from their families and their communities, and for the separation of death itself. But this, in any funeral service worth its salt, amen to all the pastors in the room, says that we have to turn to this moment of understanding, of faith. People of no faith and warped sense of faith think death somehow is honorable or final. But in my faith tradition and many others represented among us here, death is an opening to new life and new possibilities, new promises of liberty, freedom, and independence, interdependence for all. This is what death opens up. It opens up a reincarnation, a resurrection, a blessed memory, an ancestor welcome, and many other words and worlds and understandings, all of them seeking to make meaning of this moment. That is why we are here. We are here to acknowledge the deaths that have happened, to say their names. Go ahead, do it again. Say their names. We are here to remember how they are loved and were loved. To share in a community that none of us have to bear that grief alone. To call out the evil and injustice of separating us from one another, from ourselves, and from this earth. To proclaim that we will stay in grief and mourning until we find meaning and new life. We are called to stay in this place. We will do this with tears. We will do this with singing. And we will do this with love. And our mourning will turn into dancing. That is the power of all of us. You hear it in the song, all of us. Sharing this funeral procession, all of us are one people, sharing one planet, under one sky, carrying one hope on this one earth. Let us not be divided in life or in death. The power is in the people gathered, every one of us. Amen. Thank you very much. Next, I invite forward our eulogist this morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Ismael Ayala Uribe was a 39-year-old citizen of Mexico who had, on August 17th of last year, Border Patrol conducted a warrantless raid on a California car for 15 years, and they detained him. A month into ICE's detention, he complained to ICE agents of a fever, a cough, and a growing abscess on his left buttock, which instead of receiving care for, ICE staff proceeded to ridicule him. Staff failed to immediately send him to a hospital, and by the time he finally received medical care, his body was in septic shock and went into respiratory arrest. Ismael was pronounced dead on September 22nd, 2025. In 2022, a woman by the name of Daphne Michel arrived at the southern border from Haiti seeking asylum. Last summer, she was arrested in Pennsylvania for yelling at imaginary people, symptoms of her ongoing mental health struggles. Instead of going home after a judge issued her release, ICE agents arrived at the jail to arrest and place her in removal proceedings. The agents, however, did not take her to a detention center, but instead abandoned her at a bus station in a city she did not know, wearing September clothes in the middle of February, and did not alert anyone she knew. Her mental health issues had gone untreated, she could not speak English, and she never figured out how to leave the station. She died of hypothermia 3 days later on February 27th at the same bus shelter where ICE agents left her. These are the stories of only 2 people, but there are 50 more that we know of at least. 52 of our neighbors and kin whose lives were stolen from them by a regime that saw them as less than and unworthy of care. 52 people with hopes, who loved and dreamed, who, like all of us, their lives carried meaning and purpose. They were living under horrific conditions of abuse, malnutrition, poor sanitation, conditions that no one should ever have to endure, and their deaths were wholly preventable. I found myself wondering at times how it's even possible to integrate the reality into our bodies that 52 lives can be taken and the communities, friends, and loved ones of those people can be irrevocably altered simply because there were people in power who failed to see their humanity. I don't claim to know the answer to this, but I want to believe that what we are doing here today is at least one piece of the puzzle. Coming together in community to grieve, honor, and reflect, to ensure that these 52 are not forgotten, and to work together to prevent a 53rd, to show up for our neighbors and chosen people during times of suffering, to heal ourselves from the insidiousness of these oppressive systems so we can see the humanity in ourselves and everyone around us. Grief is painful. You don't need to deny that, but it is also sacred and powerful. After all, they say that the depth of one's grief is akin to the depth of one's loving care. I wish for all of us, therefore, to channel our collective grief, love, and care into remembering those no longer with us, and into acting in solidarity with those who continue to suffer in ICE detention across our country. And while it's true that the ripple effects of these lives lost will last for generations, let it also be possible that with the help of all of our voices, may their stories also create a ripple of a revolution towards our collective liberation.
Thank you very much. And now, a song.
Let us sing, friends. They buried our neighbors. They buried our neighbors. They didn't know that they were seeds. But we'll start with the original words that are in your program. They tried to bury us. They tried to bury us. They didn't know that we were seeds. They tried to bury us. They tried to bury us. They didn't know that we were seeds. Harmony, welcome, friends. They tried to bury us. They tried to bury us. That they were seeds. They buried our neighbors. They buried our neighbors. They didn't know that they were seeds. One more time. They buried our neighbors. They buried our neighbors. They didn't know that they were seeds. That last line, they didn't know. They didn't know that they were seeds. Last line one more time. They didn't know that they were seeds.
This takes us to a moment in the program where we pivot just a bit to, given all of this, what is it that we do? The actions, steps forward, what is our response in how we support the departed, our communities, each other, everyone. With that, I invite our next speaker.
Morning. I see so many beautiful faces out here today. I also see behind those faces, in your eyes, the faces that are hiding anxiety, sorrow, anger, grief. I also harbor those emotions. For our friends, neighbors, and loved ones who are snatched away unexpectedly, for the ones that haven't come home, and for the ones who will never come home on this earth. But I feel mostly anger. Anger for the ones who have not been held accountable for causing this crisis. I was born and raised in Appleton, where Core Civic is currently converting an old prison into a detention center. I am a 7th generation resident of that community. I raised my children there, and I live there today. I'm also a foster mom and a public school teacher. Before this, I worked at Core Civic, then CCA in Appleton when it operated as a prison. A detention center, on the other hand, is quite contrary. It houses fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, and in some cases even babies, accused of nothing other than not being wanted here. I'll spare the stories because you've heard so many heartbreaking stories. Families torn apart, torn away from the only life they've known, or the life that they thought they were seeking the right way. The families that will never see their loved ones again. Citizens protesting these constitutional violations and frankly human rights violations have been treated worse than the ones violating our rights. People exercising their First Amendment rights are being charged with felonies, while agents who assault, detain, neglect, and in some cases murder, are free to walk around in this society. Even keep their jobs. I watched as they released people from the Federal Whipple building on a Monday morning in negative 10-degree weather. Sent them out the door. Told the protesters will help you. How is that benefiting our society? How is that even remotely considered humane? How does that keep us safe? There's been little to no oversight in ICE detention centers, little to no access to medical care, in some cases maggots and food, overcrowded cells with no toilets, no access to basic hygiene items, reports of assault, over 50 deaths and counting. Many of these have been in Core Civic detention centers. The United Nations Chief of Human Rights is calling for investigations into these conditions and whether the deaths could have been prevented, and I say it's about time. He is quoted, "Those responsible for violations of the law must be held into account, and the right of the victims' families to truth, justice, and reparation, and guarantees of non-recurrence must be upheld." When will this end? How many people have to endure this before it stops? Not only are the policies of DHS immoral and inhumane, they go against the very Constitution we were all taught was the supreme law of the land. They also go against God's teaching. And I'll leave you today with a passage from Matthew 25 and Jesus' words. "For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you did not welcome me. Naked, and you did not clothe me. Sick and in prison, and you did not visit me." Then they will answer, "Lord, when did we see thee hungry, or thirsty, or a stranger, or naked, or in prison, or sick, and did not minister to thee?" Then he will answer them, "Truly, I say to you, as you did it not to one of the least of these, you did it not to me."
Keep looking out for your neighbors. Godspeed.
Thank you very much. And I invite our final speaker this morning for a concluding song.
I know that today is a somber occasion, but anger is part of grief, is that right? And so I want to hear you all repeat after me. No one is illegal! All power to the people! No one is illegal! All power to the people! Thank you so much. My name is Mira. I'm with the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee. We're very honored to be here today that Sunrise invited us here. We're also part of the People's Action Coalition against Trump that Sunrise Twin Cities is also a member of. We have been fighting since last year when Donald Trump came into his second term, and we knew that there would be levels of oppression that we have never seen before. We didn't know it would look like this, but we are doing everything that we can to fight back against every single one of these racist attacks. And we're here today not because we're celebrating the U.S. Independence Day. There is nothing to celebrate when 52 people are dead and their only crime was not being from here because they crossed the border that was made up. But immigrants are more than their deaths. Immigrants are people who are still out here in the tens of thousands each and every day working to put food on the family for their tables, to keep themselves housed, and to simply live a dignified life. And so that's why we have to fight like hell for the living and not just the dead, is that right? Because of that, in Iraq, we have a campaign for a sanctuary state in Minnesota. We want Governor Walz in his last few months of his term, where he really has nothing to lose. And we want the next governor, whoever that may be, to sign on to the demands that we have for a sanctuary state for immigrants in Minnesota. We want justice for every single person who has lost their life. We want reparations for the families and full persecution of any agents that took part in the murder and assault of our communities throughout Metro Surge and beyond. We want ICE-free zones. We want ICE completely out of Minnesota. A ban on 287G agreements. We want an eviction moratorium. We want healthcare access for all. And these are not just our demands here in Minnesota. There is resistance going on from coast to coast. From Delaney Hall in New Jersey to Adelanto in California. Those are just some of the fights that we have seen televised for us to see that our brothers and sisters are rising up throughout the country to stand up against racist tyranny and to stand for the right to live wherever you may choose. And that is why we say legalization for all, because it doesn't matter if you're a citizen here, if you're just visiting, how you ended up here, you're born here or not, you should not be treated as a criminal for simply existing. And so in these program pamphlets that we all have, there's a link to Sunrise Twin Cities Linktree, and if you scan that QR code, you can scroll down and find the petition that MURAC has. Anybody who lives in Minnesota can sign this petition. If you want to sign a physical version, you can find my friend Izar at the red banner in the back there to tell Governor Walz and whoever's up next after him that we will not shut up about this until we get what we want. On top of that, we want to keep seeing you on the streets because we know that we are strongest and we can defeat our enemies when we are united and when we keep showing up, even when it's blazing hot out, even when it's freezing cold out. We're all wearing all black and white. But I want to invite you all on July 26th to our MURAC's Roll for Justice action. It's going to be a bicycle rollerblades, skateboard, whatever types of wheels you got, they're welcome. Procession through several sites throughout Minneapolis where ICE and police violence have wreaked havoc upon our communities. And so that is Saturday, July 25th at 10 a.m. We're going to be meeting up near George Floyd Square at Chicago and 37th Avenue. And so I hope to see you all there. I just want to end by saying that, by reiterating that we cannot stop showing up out here. Even if we get 10 people out in action, that makes a difference. I'm so happy to see hundreds of people here today. And we know that no matter what they throw at us, they will not stop us, and they cannot quell our resistance. So thank you all. I'll leave it to the rest of the program here.
Thank you, Mira. Thank you, Mira. We now have an original song for this day, this action. Right after that, we'll have some quick remarks, calls to action, emphasis on what you can do right after this song.
All right, y'all, I know it's hot. Did you have enough breath to sing one more song together? All right, you're all a part of the singing resistance now. I'll sing a line, you repeat after me. Give us liberty, we're done with death. Give us liberty, we're done with death. We cry freedom with every breath. We cry freedom with every breath. Give us liberation, we're done with fear. Give us liberation, we're done with fear. We want justice and healing here. We want justice and healing here. All right, you sound great. Let's speed it up. Give us liberty, we're done with death. Give us liberty, we're done with death. We cry freedom with every breath. We cry freedom with every breath. Give us liberation, we're done with fear. Give us liberation, we're done with fear. We want justice and healing here. We want justice and healing here. We want justice and healing. All together. We want justice and healing here. Thank you. I'll be wrapping us up today. And first, I want to say thank you to those of you who are out here, those of you who carried coffins today, those of you who held signs and sang and joined us in solidarity. And as we were preparing for this event, it looked like it might rain, but instead, we have shined light on these decks. So although it's a little toasty, I'm grateful for that. And I want to give a special shout out to Tom, who dreamed up with this action and continues to be a tremendous organizer and collaborator with Sunrise Movement Twin Cities. And I know I said this at the start of our action today, but my name is Megan, and I'm a leader with Sunrise Movement Twin Cities. We're a youth-led movement. We're all around the country. And if you're interested in joining us, there's more information at the QR code in your pamphlet. And then directly after the funeral at 12 p.m. at the Commons, which is just a few blocks away, those local artists are staging the Liberty Project, a human mural. So you're already basically there. We'll have some marshals to escort people over there. They'll be done in by 12:30, they said. So join in, it's going to be huge and beautiful. And in closing, I would love for us to take a minute and just look around at the people who have joined us today. make eye contact with someone who is at this action today. These people, we are your neighbors, your collaborators. These are the people we've united with to combat injustice and demand a better world. And many of you are already involved in local groups, formal or otherwise. The groups that have put this action today together represent a huge array of different focuses and different tactics. And I encourage you to learn more and join their ranks if you haven't already. Sunrise Movement Twin Cities, Singing Resistance, Unlawful Assembly, Bikers, Bikers Riding Against Police Brutality, the People's Action Coalition Against Trump, Minnesota 50501, the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee, Twin Cities Democratic Socialists of America, and Union Peacekeepers. The QR code on your funeral program leads to a list of actions that you can take, like joining Sunrise, joining Singing Resistance, signing MIRAC's demand for a sanctuary state, and using your voice to stop the detention center plan in Appleton, Wisconsin. And if you didn't get a program today, we'll be sharing more information on our Instagram, which is sunrise.twincities, at the link in our bio. We're also hoping to share with you in the coming days ways that you can get involved by reaching out to representatives locally and demanding that these ICE agents be held accountable for these horrible, horrible deaths. We have another local artist called Art Price Studios that will be designing a screen print to commemorate today. You can learn more at their Instagram, which is Art Price Studio. And before we end, I want to note that for most of us, July 4th is not a day to celebrate, but to reflect on what this country should and could be. And we, the people who want freedom and equity and meaningful lives for us and our neighbors, we are the majority in this country. And as the Trump administration cracks down on activists here and in Texas and elsewhere, those activists who oppose fascism, we know that this is a tactic to create fear. And you all are here today despite that fear, or because you're inspired by it. We also know that authoritarian regimes target activists because they are afraid of us. And they should be. We are so powerful together, and we will not back down. We will continue to shine light on the violence and terror being inflicted in our communities, and together we will demand better. Thank you, all of you, for being here with us today, and please get home safe. Thank you.